Yes. What a powerful message from Pastor F. Bruce Williams. Dare to make a difference. And I want you to call in, send your text. You can call 0300 323 0234. You can email studio@adventistradio.london, or you can text 82228 with your word hope and space and your message. Now, what difference are you making in these times? Paul was a mover and a shaker, and one who made a difference. And the question still remains, what difference are we making in London, in England, all over the world? How are you shining for Jesus at this moment? How is your influence upon your neighbors, your community? Do you want to make a difference? If you have learned something from the message, please feel free to share. As the message impacts you in any positive way, let us know. And how you inspired to go out and make a difference. The preacher mentioned that Paul witnessed to Lydia, and Lydia was transformed. And as a result of Lydia's transformation, she not only opened her heart to Christ, but she also opened her home to the disciples. And God is giving us so many opportunities these days to make a difference. Do we need to open our eyes, open our minds, open our hearts to the needs of others? I read a statement this week that says that when it comes to our purpose, it's where our deepest joy meets human needs. Somebody out there needs a word of encouragement. Somebody out there will be empowered and inspired by you today because you have decided that you are going to make a difference. Also, it talks about Paul delivering the young girl who was possessed by a spirit of divination. And, she had an evil spirit. And not only was the girl possessed, but she was also oppressed by evil men. They were using her misery to make money. They were making a profit from her pain. And we all need to be very careful of those people today who profit from our downfall, who profit from our pain, who makes a profit from our anxiety. Somebody needs to stand up today to people who are using our weaknesses and benefiting from them. The pastor also mentioned that, when the demon was cast out, when it comes to demonic oppression, it's something that many of us don't want to talk about. And when the demon was cast out, the owners realized that, what Paul and Silas did would mess with their cash flow. And, there are some people out there where they don't want this solution because the solution will create a problem. The solution will create a cash flow problem for them. And I realize that not everybody wants this solution. But that should not discourage us from going out to make a difference. He also mentioned that when you want to make a difference, you have to prepare for the fact that, people might be jealous of you. There are people out there who the devil will use when you are willing to go out and make a difference. When you want to step out and do something, there are people who I call agents who are ready for you. So if you're preparing yourself to make a difference, you got to also prepare for the obstacles that might come, the issues and the circumstances you will face. But you should be determined and resolute. If you purpose in your heart that you will make a difference, then you will overcome. And you're not alone, as the preacher mentioned. Do not underestimate the power of one. As long as you're connected to God, one man, one woman, one boy, one girl can make a difference. So don't be afraid because God is with you. And the preacher also said that wherever there is evil, you can find at the root somebody's love for money. And, we need to bear that in mind, that there are people who profit from many of the ills that are happening in society. And also, sometimes the good that you do will get you into trouble. And I know someone can testify to that when you step out to do good, when you step out to do the right thing, trouble always seems to find you, or you seem to find trouble. But as I said before, do not be weary in well-doing. Don't let the trouble and the pain and what people say and what they think stop you from doing what God has called you to do. And Paul and Silas, because they cast the demon outside of the girl, they were subjected to incarceration. And, there's so much things that could happen on your journey when you decide to make a difference, when you decide to help someone. And the preacher mentioned that, at midnight, Paul and Silas, they prayed and sang praises to God. And God responded to their praise by causing an earthquake, and the chains and the jail cells swung open, not just for Paul and Silas, but for everyone. And what I've learned from that is that our prayer and our praise and our willingness to make a difference will open the doors for many people who are locked up, people who are chained. If you just allow yourself to be used, your prayer today, your praise today, you standing up for what is right today can help somebody to experience true freedom. Also, if you do what is right, no matter how people treat you, God will flip the script. So don't watch them. Just focus on what God can do through you, for you, with you, and on you. Also, when it comes to the jealousy, there are some people who will go out of their way to become an obstacle on your path. And you got to make up your mind, as I said before, that if you want to make a difference, you got to make up your mind. You got to make up you got to purpose in your being that you are not going to allow anyone or anything to stop you from fulfilling the calling that God has on your life. Also, Paul was alone in Athens, and he could have waited on Timothy and his ministerial colleagues, but Paul decided to take the city all by himself. What faith, what courage, what determination, what passion. And, what was interesting was when the preacher mentioned that, Paul could have waited, but he decided not to wait, but to take on the city by himself. And some of us at the moment, we're waiting on somebody to do something before we can make a difference. And I just want to encourage you, I've learned that waiting, wisdom comes with waiting. Because some of us, if we continue to wait for that person to fulfill their promise or to fulfill what they have said, we probably wait till Jesus comes. And that's why it's important for us to learn the art of waiting. Some of us have been waiting too long and nothing is going to happen. But thankfully, the Bible says that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So if we're going to wait, let us wait on Jesus, and to wait patiently, and also to wait with wisdom. The preacher also mentioned that when Paul went to the city, the things that impress others distress Paul. And I'm distressed by a lot of things that I'm seeing in society today. I don't know about you, but we should be, because there are a lot of things that are happening that's not according to God's will. They are not right. They are destructive to us as human beings, and something needs to happen. And in order for us to make a difference, I want you to listen. The preacher mentioned that we need to open our eyes. Stop playing blind. Stop playing that you don't see what is happening in our churches, in our communities, in our homes, in the world. We need to open. If we want to make a difference, we have to open our eyes. Also, some people, it's not that they're unable, they're unwilling to see what is happening. So some of us, we say we want to make a difference. And the truth be told, we see things, but we pretend that we don't see. So the first point is open your eyes. Also, Paul, when he saw what was happening, he was distressed. So it's not enough only to open your eyes. We must be affected by the things that affects God. And also we need to care about the things that God cares about. And we need to, when Paul opened his eyes and he was distressed by what was happening, he decided to do something. What are you planning to do in a time where people are fearful? People need hope. People need inspiration. People are crying out for help. They're crying out for prayer. What are our responses at this time? How are we responding to the needs of our neighbors, to the needs of our friends on social media? What difference are we planning to make at this time? Now, one man can make a difference. And I challenge you today, make a difference. You can make a difference. And I'll say it again, you can make a difference. Don't say there is nothing I can do. I don't know what to do. Ask God to open your eyes, open your heart, And also, Paul could not preach to the Jews how he preached to the Athenians. And Paul was creative. So the same way we might relate to somebody on the street may not be the same way we relate to someone in church. So we have to be creative. And once we are willing, remember, we serve the Creator. And if creativity is what we're lacking, we need to ask God to give us that creativity. And my last point, is God living in your heart? If he is, make a difference. We're in a world that is dark. We need to be a light. We're in a world where people are looking for inspiration. Be that inspiration. We're in a hateful world. We need to bring love. We can make a difference because we serve the Creator, the Redeemer, the Ruler, and the Provider. So go out and be mad. M-A-D. Make a difference. May God bless you.